I'm doing the show. I'm having a great time. Oh, you know what's fucking hilarious? I was in the green room, and I walk in, and Ray Lewis is there. And I start telling him how I scalped a ticket to go to a Ravens game. I've told this story before. I scalped a ticket, and I go in, and I sit down. I'm like, holy shit, I could like announce the game from where I'm sitting. And I'm like, this is one of the best scalp tickets I ever got for a great price. And all of a sudden, the security guy just goes, excuse me, sir? I've been saying that for about, half hour. Is that your seat? Do you have a ticket for that? And I go, yeah, it is. And he goes, oh, great. Could you come out to the aisle for a second? So I came, I looked at my ticket. He goes, yeah, that is your seat. Where did you get this ticket? And I was like, I scalped it outside. He goes, oh, okay, I understand. Can you just come down the stairs for a second? So I come down the stairs. Now there's another security person. Now there's two security people. Can you describe the person that you bought this ticket off of? I'm like, I don't know. He had a shirt. I don't know what's going on. They go, no, it's just, we just have some questions. Can you walk down this aisle? Can you come like underneath? So now we're underneath the thing. And I finally just say to the guy, I go, look, can you quit kicking me out of this stadium 10 feet at a time? What's going on here? And then the guy goes, well, these were stolen. These are season tickets, and they were stolen out of one of our season ticket holders' mailboxes. So, this is a stolen ticket. I go, oh, so what? So I'm screwing. They go, no. Well, we're going to try to see if, we can get you another ticket, blah, blah, blah. And they will get me all the way downstairs. Now I'm right next to the side door. And I go, can you get me another ticket? They're like, yeah, unfortunately not. And then they just kick me out. The whole thing was they didn't want me to flip out and scream and yell in front of everybody. The fucking NFL is just, they're such cunts. God forbid there's an issue, right? So I'm telling the guys there the story. They're all laughing. So I went out and I scalped them. I actually was so mad that I was getting kicked out that I said the fucking scalper was a tall, skinny white dude. It was actually a short black guy. And I don't even know why I did that. I was just so fucking mad. I didn't want to help anybody out. So I went back outside, scalped another ticket. I paid even more money. Now I'm sitting in the lower deck. And I said, yeah. And I go, that, and they're all laughing, listening to the story. And I go, yeah, that's the game that it was against Cleveland. That was the game where that dude on the Browns ran for like 300 yards and set the rushing record. And all of a sudden, Ray Lewis he dropped his head a little bit and he just starts staring at me. And I'm laughing. I'm going, sorry, man, that guy put up like 295 yards. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, didn't he run? And then he goes, he goes, no. He goes, that was our guy. I forget he said the guy's name. He goes, he ran for like 295. And I said, I'm sorry, my bad. Then I laughed. I go, Jesus Christ, dude, you were fucking looking at me. You went all Full Metal Jacket. And everyone just started laughing. Dude, Ray Lewis is like the fucking coolest guy ever. And he's still like, if you saw how like hurt he was that I would ever suggest that anyone put up close to 295 yards on a Ravens defense that he was a part of. I got to ask all those guys so many cool questions. I actually, I asked Ray Lewis if he had what's it like being one of the great linebackers of all time, watching how these linebackers, get to just sort of, the wide receivers just to kind of get to skip down the damn field now. And he goes, I can't, I have a hard time watching. He goes, I got to take like blood pressure medicine. I'm like walking around watching the game. So anyways, we're in between segments, and they actually did this segment on like how the guys on defense don't know what they can and can't get away with, so they're playing timid. And these wide receivers and quarterbacks and running backs are having a field day out there. So, of course, Boomer is siding with the offense, and everyone on the show was siding with that's over-policed and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so the segment ends, and Boomer's continuing the conversation. He goes, did you see what happened to Aaron Rodgers? And he goes, the guy came over, and Boomer walks over, and he goes to pick me up. And I don't know why. I should have said, Boomer, I saw the play. So he goes to pick me up. When you go to pick somebody up, what you do is you pull them in towards you and you put the pressure of you lifting them up across their back. He didn't. He tried to pick me up from my sides and like crush my rib cage. And you just heard something pop on my right side. And he goes, oh shit. And he put me down and I go, I don't know why. I just go, I think that was my back. And he goes, really? It sounded like your ribs. And I knew instantly that he fucked me up. I don't know what the fuck he did to my obliques. It's not like some lifelong shit, you know what I mean? I'm not a millennial. I'm not going to sue anybody. This is just like 4 days Epsom salt bath. But like, I knew immediately he fucked me up. And if somehow somebody sends this to him, I want him to know that when I sit here, it doesn't hurt. But I drove my car down at an alley yesterday trying to like beat this traffic. And it had all these potholes. So like the suspension was rocking back and forth. So I was going side to side and I had to use my obliques. I was just going down the alley going like, But I'm good because I can laugh right now, so it feels fine. But, yeah, it would have been such a cooler story if it was Ray Lewis who did it to me as opposed to a quarterback. But here's the deal. He's still like 6'4", and all of those guys have like fucking gorilla strength. And I'm just a comedian in my baby blue sweater. Anyway, so how funny is that? I actually went on a fucking football program with ex-NFL players and came out of there with an injury. I'm like day to day right now. I would still start on Sunday if we were playing football. They'd spray it with something. But anyways, I had such a great time with all of those guys. And Ray Lewis, Nate, and Boomer. I had such a great time on that whole thing. And, of course, JB. We were all teasing him about his haircut. I don't know if it made it, but I said he looked like Count Basie. And they were trashing me for being bald and all of that. It was just, I wish I lived in New York. That's how much fun I had on that show. But also, I also realized like how little football I watched when I was on there. Like when I had to pick the teams, like I had no idea what anybody's doing. You know? My daughter's crawling. She's starting to stand up at this point. I mean, that alone, I can barely pay attention. And I was in the writer's room and then immediately went down to the acting gig. So my apology. I mean, of all the fucking years for me to get back on that show, the 1 year, I think next year I'm going to get to watch a lot more. But I was sitting there like, before I went on the show, like trying to study up, like, you know, the day before your final and you know you're not going to pass, but you're just trying to get a respectable flunking grade. And, you know, even after all that studying, I have no idea who the fuck is going to win it. I know the Eagles and the Rams are doing well, as are the Vikings. And even though the Patriots are 7-2, I never believe in our defense. I just don't think we get enough pressure on the fucking quarterback. And they seem to be able to do pretty well against our secondary this year. So we'll see. I don't know. But anyways, thank you to everybody over there for having me on Inside the NFL. Please watch it this week. Nate gave me shit about Deflategate. And I, of course, took the bait. Once again, I always take the bait. I should have just been like, hey, man, you know, fucking, I got 5 reasons to not get upset. Holding up all 5 fingers for the 5 rings we got. I never thought to do that. I immediately be like, oh, the guy was acquitted.